Hallelujah. Hallelujah. I know we said earlier that it was not we that made us, but okay, all right, all right. So it was him who got us to this part. He's kept us for another season and brought us all the way back to this. That being said, family, we'll start with a little recap. We know that the theme this past month, this year, has been one word and one word only, and I'm gonna ask y'all, for y'all to say it. I'm gonna take the training wheels off today. I'm gonna say it in English, and I want y'all to try to say it in Hebrew. Hallelujah. It is the word kingdom, which be'ivrit, or in Hebrew, is Mamlakah. Mamlakah. The kingdom. Yeah, apologize to the person sitting in front of you, but hallelujah. We last week and the week before that dealt a little bit with 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 20. Well, our brother Shaul says that we're ambassadors for the Mashiach. And we're ambassadors. Kingdom, right? Right? Again, that's Strong's number 4467 for those who wish to go a little deeper into the etymology and the understanding in that regard. But I'm going to literally give you all the English definition, which is a politically organized community or major territorial unit having a monarchical form of government headed by a king or queen. That's Merriam-Webster's definition. I didn't make it up. This is what a kingdom is, right? Especially in this society, right? We know it has but Yah has a kingdom. And in that kingdom, you are bam, look at that. It's like y'all remember this or something like that. A citizen, and we determined that a citizen was somebody who not only belonged to that place, but it was a native or naturalized person who owes allegiance to said government. And because of that, they are entitled to protection from it. Right? Yeshua said it like this: my kingdom is not of this world. I am in this world, but not of this world. He said something crazy at the end of that. It's like, hey, praying that they be one. He also said, don't take them out of the world. All right, so if he was dying to get to heaven, Yeshua said, y'all supposed to be down here. I need some ambassadors on this place because I need some kingdom citizens here. And the kingdom citizen is somebody who belongs to this government. They're a naturalized citizen. So if you weren't born in it, you might have to die to yourself and then be born again in order to be a naturalized citizen of this kingdom. But as an ambassador in this place, Yah gave us this mission in the very beginning. Bereshit chapter 1, which is the book of Genesis, verse 26, he says this: let us make mankind, or Adam, in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over each other, but over everything that I've already created. I created creation, put my avatars in place, and I told these kingdom citizens, it's your job to rule this. Because the Hebrew word right there for dominion is the word radah, literally translated as to rule, to have dominion, to dominate, to tread down. He gave it to Adam, and that didn't work. He says, okay, well, you gave your dominion to somebody I didn't give dominion to. Okay, that's a different story. But when he goes on, he tells Noah, be fruitful, fill the earth and subdue it. Story goes on and on and on with the same message. I have given you authority. I have given you power. I have given you dominion. Never took it back. Said, I gave it to you. I want you to rule. So in that, last week we talked about if you're an ambassador in a different kingdom on behalf of another kingdom, you might have what we call diplomatic immunity, right? You might be in some other place, but the laws of your place still reside. So if you're a citizen who's been taken captive by another kingdom, your government is supposed to come and intervene on your behalf. It's very important. Certain rights and rules that you have as a citizen of this country, or even authority figures of this country, are subject to punishment if they overstep your rights. So we talked about knowing your rights, but in that, something even more important. To know your position. Y'all familiar with football? Okay, all right. Right. So you got different positions on the football field, right? Right, and then the one that snapped the ball, I think that's the center, and then he get a ball to the quarterback. But if the quarterback isn't in the right position and the person tries to give him the ball, what happens? It's a fumble. Okay. All right, well, what if they switch roles? What if the quarterback was trying to snap the ball to the center and he wanted the center to throw the ball? Why wouldn't it work? He's not the quarterback? It's not his position. Right? It's a practical example. Right? The very beginning of this series, we dealt with the fivefold ministry in Ephesians chapter 4. Right? Right? He says he gave some apostles, some evangelists, prophets, teachers. For what? For the edifying of the body, right? So we bring the body together. Everybody's got a specific position that they play. So if the teacher's trying to be the prophet, and that's not his position, might be a fumble. I'll make it even worse. If the prophet's not on the field, now we got a problem. He's not in position. With that being said, our brother sums it up in 1 Peter chapter 2. He says this, that you are a royal priesthood, right? So your proper position is going to be here. On some throne. In some way, shape, form, or capacity, Yah has given you a place where you have this. You have dominion. You have authority. You have not just dominion, but in order to have a dominion, you have to have a domain in which you dominate. I'm going to put it like that, all right? Everybody's got some domain, no matter how young or how old you are, you got a spot where you sit on the throne and there's nobody that can do the job that you are authorized and appointed to do. I'm going to give you all one practical example. I'm going to try to get out the way. How many of y'all know this dude on the left? Michael Jordan, right? And y'all know him for what? Basketball. What's happening on the right? Man stepped out of line for just a moment. Fulfill a childhood dream. Now, he was good at basketball. But over here, he was gifted, and he had been given when you're operating over here, there's, I want to be like Mike. When you're operating over here, it's, what's going on with Mike? We're not fully in the proper position. Now, don't get me wrong. He was all right. And there's brothers who have gone, like, what's his name? Herschel Walker, Bo Jackson, right? Bo knows everything, right? You got Deion Sanders, who were able to do multiple things, but we all remember them for the thing that they were great at. Some people, they have more. Some, maybe they should stay in their lane, right? Now, these aren't my words. I'm going to let somebody else say it. We'll go back to my childhood. And The Rock said it like this: know your role. I'm not going to finish the rest, but he says to know your role. Because if you're not in your role, it might be a fumble. Might be a flag on the play. You got too many men on the field. Somebody in position that's not supposed to be there. Acts chapter 19. Our brother Paul gives us two examples of how this goes right and what happens when it doesn't. Right? I'm going to start at verse 12. Right? Our brother Shaul is out there. He's doing his work. Verse 11. And Elohim wrought special miracles by the hands of Paul, so that from his body were brought unto the sick handkerchiefs or aprons, and the diseases departed from them, and the evil spirits went out of them. This is a good example. This is somebody walking in their authority, where even because the authority was on him to dominate in this arena, that even a handkerchief or something that was on his person was just brought to somebody who was sick, and they were able to be healed. It sounds familiar. Sounds like he was working in the same kingdom that somebody else was working in. Right? Giving out them free samples, healing the sick, cleansing the lepers, letting the blind see. But then what happens in verse 13? Certain of the vagabond Yehudim, exorcists, took upon themselves. They took it upon themselves to call over them which had evil spirits in the name of the Master, Yeshua. And they said, we adjure you by Yeshua, who Paul preaches. And it says that as they were going on, there were 7 sons of one, chief of the priests, who did the exact same thing. See, he had position in one spot. He had a domain. Right. He stepped out of his domain, and watch what happens. The Spirit itself called him out and said, Yeshua I know, right, and Paul I know. Right. Who are you? Who are you? I don't recognize you. And the man in whom the evil spirit was leaped on them and overcame them and prevailed against them, so that they fled out of that house naked and wounded. And this went through all the kingdom. So everybody heard what happened to the Jew who was a chief priest, who had rule and authority in one spot but stepped out of position. Come on now. Yeah. Tried to do something he wasn't ordained to do. Tried to do something he wasn't instructed to do. Tried to do something he didn't have dominion over. And you end up naked, beat down, limping down the street, and everybody going, what happened to him? That's funny when it's somebody else. But I implore you, if you find yourself in a position where that happens to you, you might want to ask yourself, hey, yeah, why did you let this happen? Or why did you let me get out of position? But the flip side of that is still true. If you're in position and if you're in a spot where Yah has commanded you and instructed you to be, it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks, what anybody else can do, where anybody else has placed themselves, because if the king has given you the authority to be in that spot, who gonna check him? As we started this, I gave y'all the analogy that, hey, we use different words, right? We know that the Hebrew says one thing, but I did want to highlight how the Europeans do it, how the King James era would have thought as they were translating this. The Lord is the landowner. So then you have a Lord over the lords. That's the king. He's the one that gives out land. He's the one that gives out people's positions. He's the one that says, no, I need a governor over here, and that's going to be you. I need you to govern this area right here. And then I need somebody to rule on the border. That's going to be you. I need you watching the border in case the enemy tries to creep in. I need you minister in this area right here. I need you walking in the position that I have placed you in. Because when all of these pieces are in place, the kingdom thrives. So as we continue to work toward the kingdom, I ask that you do the same thing I'm doing, no matter how old or how young you are. Where is it the king has given you dominion? What is your domain? Because when you walk in it, you got the king's approval, where you can take a letter from captivity and say, the king says, I need this. And it happens. With that being said, family, I love you, and I'm still hoping for the best for you as we continue to walk toward the kingdom. I say to you, Todah for your time, and Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Hallelujah.